Welcome, viewers, to the enigmatic world of 51 Facts Central. My name is Sean, and today we'll discuss 51 facts about Hitler the world doesn't want you to know. Did you know that Hitler enjoyed whistling one of his favorite tunes? Who's afraid of the big bad wolf? Or did you know that Adolf Hitler was an animal rights activist? Stay tuned until the end so you don't miss out on any facts. And hit that subscribe button so you never miss videos like this. Fact 1. Name change. Adolf Hitler came close to being named Adolf Schicklgruber or Adolf Hiedler. This is because Adolf's father, Alois Hitler Sr., was initially born as Alois Schicklgruber, the illegitimate son of Maria Anna Schicklgruber. Fact 2. Drug abuser. Although Hitler wasn't a chronic smoker or alcoholic, he did consume a lot of drugs. Despite Hitler maintaining seemingly healthy habits, he regularly indulged in consumption of psychoactive substances during the war years. Fact 3. German nationalist. Although an Austrian, Adolf Hitler developed an attachment to German nationalist ideals from a young age. Demonstrating loyalty to Germany, he embraced many of the nation's customs, regularly using the greeting Heil with his friends. Fact 4. Saved by a priest. Adolf Hitler was saved from drowning at a young age by a priest. It is said that he fell into the icy water while playing with his friends. He was saved by a priest named Johann Kuberger, who dove into the freezing water. Fact 5. Stateless man. In 1925, Adolf Hitler renounced his Austrian citizenship, rendering himself stateless. This decision led to the threat of deportation and barred him from seeking public office. It wasn't until Dietrich Klages, a Nazi party member, granted him German citizenship 7 years later in 1932. Fact 6. Military service during World War I. In a bid to serve the German government rather than in the Austrian army, Adolf Hitler relocated to Munich, Germany. This was due to the fact that he perceived the Austrian army as a diverse racial composition. This led to his departure from Vienna. Fact 7. Attempted coup d'etat. Hitler planned to take over the government of Bavaria in southern Germany by staging a coup d'etat, which was the beer hall putsch. The attempted coup d'etat unfortunately proved unsuccessful. Fact 8. Hitler's nephew. Adolf Hitler's half-nephew, William Patrick Hitler, fled Nazi Germany to London and eventually immigrated to the United States. In the U.S., he enlisted in the Navy, actively opposing his uncle's forces in World War II. Fact 9. Sex dolls. It is believed that Hitler gave his soldiers blow-up sex dolls to combat syphilis. Initially considering Hungarian actress Kathy von Nagy as a model, they opted for a blue-eyed blonde version for distribution to soldiers when she declined. Fact 10. Failed assassination. In 1944, the British Special Operations Executive, SOE, formed a plan named Operation Foxley in an attempt to assassinate Adolf Hitler during his morning walk. However, the plan was abandoned as British authorities believed that Hitler's strategic weaknesses rendered him less of a threat. Fact 11. Speech practice. Hitler's obsession with his image led him to make photographer Heinrich Hoffmann to capture him during speeches. Although ordered to destroy the photos afterward, Hoffmann chose not to comply and instead included them in his memoir. Fact 12. Fear of cats. Adolf Hitler suffered from ailurophobia, the fear of cats. This is why he had dogs for pets instead of cats. Fact 13. Not a driver. Adolf Hitler never learned to drive a car despite his obsession with cars. He often said his reluctance to drive was due to the fear that a car accident could return him to prison. Fact 14. Precautionary measures. Hitler usually employed young women to taste his food in order to avoid food poisoning. Due to potential British attempts to poison his food, he recruited 15 young women who tasted his meals before he consumed them. Fact 15. Love or obsession. Adolf Hitler had a fixation on his half-niece, Angela Maria Gaily Roybal. Gaily, the daughter of Hitler's half-sister Angela Hitler, found herself subject to Hitler's possessiveness as he ascended to power. Fact 16. World's most dangerous book. During his time in prison, Adolf Hitler wrote the first volume of his autobiographical political manifesto, Mein Kampf, My Struggle, which later became one of the world's most notorious books. Fact 17. Jewish physician. Eduard Bloch, an Austrian Jew, was a physician that administered medical care to Adolf Hitler and his family. Dr. Bloch received special protection after the Nazi annexation of Austria, being referred to as an Edeljude, or noble Jew. Fact 18. Normandy invasion. Hitler was asleep during the invasion of Normandy by the Allied forces. His subordinates were reluctant to send reinforcements without Hitler's orders, yet hesitant to disturb his sleep. This led to him delaying sending reinforcements to Normandy. Fact 19. Time's Man of the Year. Hitler was designated as Time magazine's Man of the Year, now Person of the Year, in 1938. Time magazine clarified that the title was rather a recognition of individuals that had a substantial impact on the world, whether for better or for worse. Fact 20. Hitler's Nobel Prize. In a twisted way of portraying a joke, a Swedish legislator nominated Adolf Hitler for a Nobel Prize in 1939. Infuriated, Hitler subsequently prohibited any German from receiving a Nobel Prize. Fact 21. Vegetarian. Hitler wasn't always vegetarian. However, he embraced a vegetarian lifestyle during the 1930s. His reputation as a vegetarian was established by 1938, a fact he confirmed in 1942. Fact 22. Father issues. Adolf Hitler's father was not the best at parenting. He was 51 when Adolf was born and showed little interest in taking responsibility for his family. There had also been reports of him mistreating his wife and children. Fact 23. Test animal. Adolf Hitler received Blondie as a puppy, a gift from another Nazi official in 1941. However, a day before his death, he had Dr. Werner Haas administer cyanide capsules to Blondie in order to test its potency, resulting in the dog's demise. Fact 24. Threats to Hitler's masculinity. British spies came up with a plan to make Adolf less aggressive by placing female sex hormones, estrogen, in his food. Like Operation Foxley, however, the estrogen plot didn't push through. Fact 25. Extravagant spender. Recent studies have uncovered that Hitler had a knack for opulence while pretending to be a man of the people. He would often purchase cars, champagne, and clothes. Fact 26. Mustache trim. Hitler favored a handlebar mustache style. However, during his World War I service, he was instructed to trim it to fit beneath gas masks. Fact 27. Disney lover. The Disney Channel was merely an appreciation of the advancement of technology to Hitler. Shows like Snow White boasted some pretty impressive animation circa its 1937 release. Fact 28. Dreams of being a priest. As a young boy, Hitler had dreamed of becoming a priest. In his childhood, he consistently attended the Catholic Church and actively participated in the choir. However, through his adult years, Hitler developed a strong aversion to the Catholic Church. Fact 29. Benz freak. In September 1924, Adolf Hitler wrote a letter to Jakob Ferlin, a Mercedes-Benz dealer, for a car loan. He wished to acquire a Mercedes limousine, which cost about 18,000 Reichsmarks at the time. Fact 30. Undescended testicle. Analysis of Hitler's old medical records showed that he suffered a condition where the testicles failed to descend from the abdomen into the scrotum. In the case of Hitler, one of his testicles did not descend, resulting in the appearance of having only one testicle. Fact 31. Tax evader. Hitler amassed millions through substantial salaries. However, his constant refusal to pay taxes led him to being fined 405,494 Reichsmarks for tax evasion and non-disclosure of income by the Munich tax office. Fact 32. Politics. Hitler's superiors encouraged him to join the German Workers' Party, Deutsche Arbeiter Party, DAP. The DAP transformed into the Nazi Party, and Hitler dedicated himself to it after leaving the military in 1920. Fact 33. Concentration camps. Adolf Hitler never visited concentration camps. Under Hitler's rule as Germany's chancellor, the Nazi Party erected over 1,000 concentration and extermination camps, including Auschwitz. Initially detaining Communist Party members, these camps later expanded to include Jews, criminals, and asocials. Fact 34. Overdose. Adolf Hitler suffered from a variety of mental illnesses to gastrointestinal illnesses. His physician, Theodor Morell, prescribed around 90 medications during his years in war for different conditions. Fact 35. Museum to an extinct race. Hitler blamed Jews for Germany's issues, promoting the idea of Aryan racial superiority. He then proposed for a museum to an extinct race, intended to exhibit artifacts of the race targeted for extermination. Fact 36. Favorite actor. In 2011, Johannes Heesters, Hitler's favorite actor, passed away at the age of 108. Despite receiving benefits from the dictator, Hieslers, while performing for the Nazi regime, never endorsed Nazi propaganda. Fact 37. Cheerleading fan. Inspired by American football cheerleading techniques, the Nazi rallying cry, Sieg Heil, was reportedly influenced by Ernst Hofstengel, a friend of Hitler who studied at Harvard. The dictator, in turn, aimed to replicate the spirited atmosphere of American rallies at his own gatherings. Fact 38. Sweet tooth. Hitler had a habit of consuming up to 2 pounds of chocolate daily, and he would occasionally enhance the sweetness of red wine by adding sugar before drinking it. Fact 39. Superstitions. In 1942, it was revealed that Hitler avoided removing his coat in public, even in warm conditions. Whether this was rooted in a specific superstition or part of his broader strategy to uphold a poised and authoritative image remains to be conclusively verified. Fact 40. Prankster. Reportedly, Hitler indulged in frequent pranks, amusing himself at the expense of his ministers and generals. However, this will cost him, especially when a prank involves his friend Hofstengel. Fact 41. Love for opera. Hitler developed a passion for opera from the age of 12. As mentioned in his autobiography, Mein Kampf, he fondly recalls skipping school frequently to indulge in his love for operas. Fact 42. Unusual medical remedies. Hitler is known to have employed the use of enemas and leeches to cure his medical conditions. Fact 43. Skull measurements. Adolf Hitler once ordered a team of phrenologists to take measurements of his skull. It was concluded that they had not seen anything like his skull since the time of Frederick the Great. Fact 44. Medical examinations. Adolf Hitler's weight and height values are allegedly estimates. This is because of Hitler's aversion to undressing for medical examinations. Fact 45. Swastika symbol. Hitler and his family lived near a Benedictine monastery which included a swastika in its coat of arms. The swastika is an ancient symbol representing good luck. Fact 46. Third Empire. Hitler's regime is often referred to as the Third Reich or the Empire. Goebbels, Hitler's propaganda minister, played a significant role in popularizing this terminology. Fact 47. Testosterone injections. Reports of historians in 1944 show that Hitler's private physician, Theodor Morell, gave him testosterone injections derived from seminal vesicles and prostate glands of young bulls into his system whenever Eva Braun was around. Fact 48. Fear of cancer. Hitler was believed to have surgically removed polyps from his voice cords twice. This was due to his fear of getting cancer. Fact 49. Death by chocolate. Adolf Hitler's plan to kill Sir Winston Churchill involved using exploding chocolate. The bombs were made of explosives covered with a thin layer of dark chocolate, which was wrapped in black and gold paper. Fact 50. Till death do us part. By the end of 1932, Eva Braun and Adolf Hitler were in a relationship. Their marriage took place within Hitler's Berlin bunker on April 29, 1945, just one day before their tragic deaths. Fact 51. Suicide. At the end of World War II, both the Red Army and Western Allies advanced on Germany. On April 30, 1945, the Soviet forces were drawing closer to Hitler's bunker in Berlin. Fearing capture, Adolf Hitler and his wife Eva Braun opted for suicide.